so we just watched a video called The Science of Persuasion by Influence at Work is the network on YouTube. So in the video, they talked about all kinds of different ways to persuade people and to get people kind of to do what you want them to do, or more accurately, to know what people will do when you do something. So we'll talk about that in the context of open houses as we start to go through this. So to start, let's talk about open houses in general. Has anybody attended an open house recently? Yes, you've attended one. Tell me a little bit about it. Good, the bad, how was it? What did you experience?
It was good. It was a slow one. So they were waiting for me right when I walked in the door.
Okay.
And I was just honest, and I was like, hey, I'm with Berkshire Hathaway, I'm previewing, and then they gave me a little bit of room.
Okay, sure, because you're an agent at the time.
Yeah.
And has anybody been to an open house that the person didn't know that they were in real estate recently? So before we jumped on? Yeah, okay, Samantha, tell me about it.
I went with my family, so the last one I went to in Edgewood, the two ladies were really nice. They were attentive to my kids, and they gave them a cookie, and they kind of told us about the house, and
Sure.
they referenced how my children would like it.
Good.
Yeah.
So they were attentive, they were engaging.
They brought up the school district.
Great.
From their school district, which I had no idea, so that was
Okay,
interesting.
good.
Yeah.
So you had a great positive
It was
experience.
good.
Very cool. You've done some open houses.
I have done.
So Brittany, tell me about those. Tell me about something about your experience in one of those open houses.
My experience with them is that I usually have a pretty good turnout. My hardest part is actually converting people because I don't want to be like that pushy salesperson. So,
Right.
I mean, I'm knowledgeable. I get great feedback from the visitors that come, but they're usually already working with an agent, or it's not their time. They're just out because they saw the signs. And
Right.
so that's what I.
So I think that you actually touched on a few different things that are really difficult for agents and for us as we're kind of doing open houses to overcome or to figure out or to identify, okay, well, what do we do in these situations? So there's a lot actually of what we're going to talk about today. So the first thing when we talk about open houses is we need to understand really truly what it is that we're doing. What are we really signing up for when we decide to hold a house open for 2 or 3 hours in a day? And really what I mean by that is, what's the dynamic between me and the person that walks in the door? What are they thinking? Because I know what I'm thinking, right? I might be a little nervous, especially if I'm new, right? Maybe if I am been doing this for a while, maybe I'm not nervous at all. Maybe I'm pretty confident and I know what I'm doing and I've got a plan. But what is the other person feeling? What is the person coming in? How are they preparing to interact with me? And the reality of our situation when we do open houses, which by the way, I built my career on open houses. 20 hours a week for 3 years, I did open houses. I started at 22 years old. Nobody was going to use me that I knew. I was way too young, right? So I had to continually be out there and put myself in front of the bus as many times as I could in order to get hit once in a while, right? It's a law of averages. So I did open houses. That's how I built my business. And I think it's a fantastic way to do that. There is no other thing that you can do at any given moment of any day that will put you in front of more people ready, willing, and able to buy and sell real estate than to sit in an open house. It's just not possible. Because the people that come there, most of them in general, are looking in some capacity now or in the future to buy or sell a house. And most of them are ready, willing, and able. So it gives you an opportunity to be in front of more people that have a higher conversion rate, right? Okay, that's the good news about open houses. The bad news about open houses is that most people that come into them want nothing to do with you, right? They wish you weren't there. Let's be honest about this. If they could have what they wanted, they would walk in the house, look around, any knowledge or information about the house that they would like to have would just instantly come to them. They would just instantly know it, and then they would walk out, and they would cut you out of the equation completely. There's exceptions to this, but this is the majority of the people. So we have to understand the dynamic of an open house is that somebody is coming in that wants nothing to do with you, and in a short period of time, before they walk out that door, you need them to feel that they need you. That's a pretty big shift. They want nothing to do with you, all the way to they feel that they need you. If we can get there, then we can have a lot of success in open houses. If we can't get there, then we might as well not do open houses. It's just that simple. And so I think what happens is a lot of agents, they do open houses, but they're not equipped with the tools to figure out, well, how do I get from they don't want anything to do with me to wanting me, right? People come in and they already have agents and they're just looking and they're all these things. But what we will find is we start to use some of the techniques that we're going to talk about is that a lot of people don't really have agents. And a lot of people aren't just looking. And a lot of people that are just looking can become really quickly buyers. So we'll talk a little bit about that. So the first thing that you need to know about open houses is working for Berkshire Hathaway, we have a lot of listings available, right? We have a lot of veteran agents that are too busy or too lazy to hold their own houses open. That's okay, that's good. That's a huge advantage and why joining a company like Berkshire Hathaway has a lot of value to you because you have the ability to hold open all these houses that are Berkshire Hathaway homes. Yes?
And is there, because I've heard of some brokerages that even if you're holding the open house for the listing agent, you still need to give a referral fee to that listing agent if they become a client?
Right, there is some specific situations where that is the case with Berkshire Hathaway, but in general, no.
Okay.
You probably won't walk into that situation. Generally, people that do new construction, a lot of new construction, but here, no, we are much more inclusive and much more, hey, you're really doing a service for the other agent. You are. They don't want to do it. You're going to give them the weekend off or whatever it is, right? And so remember, as you're asking for open houses, that you are doing a favor for the other agent. They're happy to hear from you, so you don't have to be nervous making a call and saying, hey, I just saw you listed this property. Are there days that I can hold it open, right? That's a positive call for them. They want that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how to find an open house, right? That's the first thing, right? We decide, hey, I want to do an open house this week. What do I need to do? Now, generally, I would show up on the board here. We could jump on the MLS, but I can't do it and video it because the glare and stuff, it doesn't show. So I'm just not going to do it. We'll talk about it, though. Many in the room have not. You have your MLS. You have your MLS. You do not yet.
No, I just use Teams.
Okay, so that's fine. So the way that I will find an open house is just simply I will go on into an MLS search and I will put in the area that I would prefer to be in, right? If I'm in the Berrien office, that's area 130, right? That's the Berrien area. If I'm in area 140, the West Seattle office, then I'm gonna type in area 140. And I'm looking for everything, and again, if that's where I wanna focus. If I wanna focus in another area, then I'm gonna use a different area's number, right? So I'm gonna decide, well, where's my focus? But generally, it's around the offices that we work in, or where we live. So if that's the case, we're gonna type in the number for the area, and then we're gonna go in and we're just gonna simply put in active, and then we're gonna make a date range of like the last week, right? Let's start by going to homes that are relatively new. They're gonna have a higher volume
0 to 7.
of people coming through.
Would you do
Yeah, 0 to 7. Or even not even 0 to 7, if you bring up the calendar in that
you
search.
can choose a date.
You can go
Okay.
from today to, whatever day a week before, right? Let's see what's relatively new. We're gonna run a search for everything so that we don't miss any listings that are Berkshire Hathaway. If we just ran for our office in West Seattle, well, that's great, because we're gonna have the majority of the listings, but there might be an agent from Bellevue that has a listing in West Seattle, of course. So we might miss that, so we don't want to. So we're just gonna run that search, and we are gonna go to multi-line for the results, because it'll allow you to see a little snapshot of the house, and also then see the listing brokerage. We're just gonna start scrolling through. And we're gonna select and identify the properties that are Berkshire Hathaway. And once we're done with that list, we are going to reduce the list to only show the Berkshire Hathaway listings. Now we'll have, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 properties. Let's talk about what happens if we don't have any properties, or we don't have any that we wanna hold open. Then we go back into the search, and maybe if we wanna stay in the same area, great. Go back, from 1 week to 2 weeks before, right? And see what that brings up and redo the search. If we're finding that we're really not finding anything in area 140 at all that fits, and we go back, great, no problem. Go to another area, go to 130, right? If I told you that I had a buyer that was ready, willing, and able to buy a house right now in Kent for $350,000, pre-approved, ready to go, would you take that lead?
Yeah.
Of course, everybody would. Of course, it's $10,000. I'm gonna take that lead. So why wouldn't I then take an open house there, right? It might not be your first choice, but we wanna take the open house. We'd much rather be in an open house than not at all, right?
Do you prefer us to definitely try for Berkshire Hathaway first before trying to hold it open for another?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So we do not allow the holding open of other companies' listings.
Okay,
It's confusing.
good
We
to-
also don't let other companies hold our listings open,
okay, good to
right?
know.
It becomes really, really difficult for the sellers. They don't understand what's going on. Frankly, I wouldn't understand it either, right? Well, we hired Berkshire Hathaway. Why is John L. Scott holding it open? We wanted Berkshire Hathaway, and now we're getting subpar, representation. That's not the goal. So we just stick with our company. But again, we have hundreds of listings, so we have opportunities all the time.
Is that a thing for Windermere and Channel Scott to typically?
Some brokerages will allow their agents to hold open.
I was allowed to do
Anybody. Yeah.
When you were, where were you at?
She was at Keller Williams.
Keller Williams.
Yeah.
So that might be a differentiator for us in terms of.
Oh, absolutely.
listing property.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. We only
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
top Berkshire
We're
Hathaway
only
agents.
gonna have.
Yeah, you got it. Exactly. Okay, so now we're going through and we're deciding which properties that we want to hold open. Now, the reality is that any house is a good house, except some houses. Okay, so, gosh, if it smells bad, right? If it's a fixer, that's fine, there's gonna be a lot of people through, but you gotta be really, really careful. Were we in an open house that smelled bad?
Yeah.
Okay, and I think just recently, we went to a house that smelled bad, we wanted out of there, okay? If it smells bad, they don't wanna be there. You're gonna have a hard time getting them from not wanting anything to do with you to feeling like they need you if they are trying to get out the door as fast as they can, right? It doesn't mean it needs to be a gorgeous, beautiful house. That's not always the best one either, right? So what you're looking for are things that, you wanna ask the agent questions. Hey, is there anything I don't know about this house? Are there any odd smells? Do they have pets? If you're allergic to cats and they have cats, you might not wanna hold that house open for 3 hours. You're gonna be miserable. I know, I've done it many times. And I am allergic to cats. So you wanna ask some of those probing questions, right? Make sure if you get a chance ahead of time that you can preview that house, great. I'm gonna tell you a bunch of best practices, but like I said before, I think before we started taping, it is much better to do an open than not. So if you can't do all of the things the way that we're talking about doing them, still do the open. Get in front of the house. We spend so much time getting ready to get ready that a lot of times we don't do the things that actually will lead to the leads, that will generate those leads that we need in order to make sales, right? Okay, so now we've identified a property and we've called the agent and we've asked if we could hold it open. Okay. Great. When's a good time for an open house?
Sunday 11 to 3.
Sunday 11 to 3.
Saturday 12 to 3.
Saturday 12 to 3.
Anytime.
Yeah, that's
There you
it.
go, okay. Anytime.
Anytime. Okay, not exactly, right? I mean, holding a house open.
Like Wednesday at 12 o'clock.
Yeah. But I will say that sometimes those can be effective. Wednesday at 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Why? Because different people have different schedules. And if you're just gonna be working on reading your forms, why not sit in the house and do it? If you're just gonna sit there and fill out stuff, or work on, Facebook and messaging people, or, creating marketing or whatever, don't sit in the office and do it. Do it in an open house, where somebody can actually come in and buy something. I guarantee you nobody's gonna come in and buy something from you in the bullpen. I mean, it's good, I want you in the office, it's big energy, there's a lot of valuable things to be had in the office. Way better than being at home, but if you can do it in an open house, do it in an open house. Give yourself an opportunity to make some money. Okay, so the more concise answer is, there are some better times than others to do open houses. We're in the spring right now. Spring and summer, great for twilights, right? Great for twilights. What time is a twilight? Well, it could be it could be 3 to 5, 3 to 6, 5 to 7. Think about drive
I've done
times.
4 to 7.
4 to 7. Think about drive times, right? If you're doing a twilight and it's around a school, find out what time the school lets out. Elementary schools are generally, I think, 3:40. So set your open house from 3 to 5 or 3 to 6 and get all the mothers and fathers that are coming to pick up their kids, right?
Do you think, because I've heard mixed opinions of holding open houses for 2 hours is what I've been told is like the best because it gives them a time to be there. And then if you're there for 3 or 4 hours, it's just too big of a window for people.
So, yeah, that's a great question, and I have heard the same thing. Let me preface, everything that I say today really truly is my experience, right? And I was very successful at open houses, I'm still very successful at open houses. The way that I do things can be successful, and it might be successful for you, but you may also find that other people have other ideas. Ask and talk to other agents that are successful about how they do open houses, right? And kind of take what you like, and the real key is being confident, okay? Confidence doesn't answer your question. Your question is very specific about how long should you be in a house. My answer to that is I believe if I'm gonna go through the effort of putting signs out, and when I put signs out, I put a lot out, we'll talk about it in a minute. I'm gonna be there for a while. I'm not trying to rush. I'm trying to be there and available. I'm trying to meet the looky-loo neighbors that everybody is so afraid of and doesn't want, and they're so annoying. No, I want them. I want everybody, right? Because with
Because that could
each,
be a listing.
absolutely, or it could be a sale. They could have a friend or a family member that this would be great for, and that friend or family member isn't looking in that area. But this house is great, and then they call them and they say, hey, I know you're not looking in this area, but this house is great. And then that person buys the house, right? Or calls me and I get to start working with that person. You would have never gotten that if you hadn't held the house open. So, I like 3 hours.
Okay.
If I'm gonna be there, I wanna be there 3 hours. Would I do one for 2 hours? Heck yeah! Do an open house, do it, okay?
But 4 is kind of pushing it, right? Or
It just depends, it depends what you wanna do. If I'm not doing anything that day, or I'm gonna be just doing a lot of work, fine.
okay.
If I wanna get away from the spouse and the kids, you know, and have some me time, open houses can be that, you know, because sometimes they're not so busy, right? So, yeah, I personally want to be there at least 3 hours. And 3 hours, I think, is a good chunk of time to do it. Okay, so we've talked to agents. We've decided, you know, what days. Do the same house a couple of times in the week. Hey, I'll do it on, you know, Wednesdays. I'll do it on Wednesday and Saturday, right? Can I do a twilight of this? You know, ask. Many times as you can, great. Now, you don't want to hold the same house open day after day after day after week after week, right? That doesn't make any sense. You want to mix it up and be in different places so that people see us in different places and associate us with different listings and in different areas within the same general area, right? Make sense? So, twilights are good. I think that Saturdays are potentially the very best days, especially for newer agents. The reason that I like Saturdays so much is that there's less competition. Traditionally, Sunday afternoon is the big open house day and time. So if you can beat everybody to the punch and not have to compete with other people, other brokers, where they're going from your house to the next one to the next one, I think that there's advantage to that. I think if you can grab somebody and get their attention on a Saturday, you have the ability then to show them houses on Sunday. Right? I think that it opens up a lot of opportunities. Now, does that mean that you shouldn't do Sunday open houses? Of course not. Yes, you should do Sunday open houses, right? There's people that only go into one open house. And if it's yours, it's yours. And we talked about this all the time. 70% of all sellers interview one agent before they list a property. They list with the first person 7 out of 10. Being in an open house and meeting the neighbor, there's a lot of value, right? So do the open house, do the open house. I think that Saturdays are an interesting day to do. I also think that, you know, 10 to 2 is an interesting time, 10 to 1. Mix it up, do different things. Different people are available at different times.
And if you're open when the others aren't open,
Absolutely.
they might be like, well, let's stop there first.
You got it, absolutely, 100%. Yep. Okay, so, we have now found an open house. Now we know we're gonna hold a house open at this day and this time. Okay, great. What are we gonna do next? What are the next steps? Okay, the first step is that you want to remind the agent that you're gonna hold the house open for to mark it as such in their listing, okay? When I started, there was no internet. I'm not that old. but there wasn't, right? And so all of our people that came from open houses came from Seattle Times ads and signs. They would just go out and drive around and look for signs, okay? Now the majority of the people that are gonna come to your open houses are gonna be the people that saw it online. And some of the websites will not update for 12 hours or so. So the sooner, the more in advance that you can have it posted as an open house, the better. People that have searches set up on different devices and different websites, those searches will ping them when the house shows it as an open house. Well, if it pings them this morning for your open house later today, that's fine. Do the open house. But if you could have done that 2 or 3 days earlier so that they can plan for it, probably better, right? Okay, cool. So make sure that they do that. The next thing is making a flyer. We're not gonna go into today how to make flyers. That's something that you'll talk with your sales managers about. And they'll show you how to make flyers. We have gorgeous flyer templates. It takes you no time at all to make a flyer. Save a couple images off the MLS, input the information. The key with the flyers, the most important thing to understand with the flyers is this. When you take the description, you cannot write your own description for their listing. You have to use their description. What's in the MLS? Now, you have a limited number of characters in the MLS where you have a lot more in a flyer, generally. So sometimes in the MLS, they'll abbreviate, and bedrooms will be, bedroom will be BRD, right, for bed, or BD for bed, or whatever. You can lengthen that and actually write out bedroom,
Okay.
because that's what's really being said. You don't have to do slashes and whatever, you can make it read properly, but you need to use their words, okay? If there's a concern or you feel like the grammar is bad, just let the agent know, hey, is it okay if I this? But their marketing, it's their listing. Their clients should have signed off on what they've written. So that's what you need to use, okay? Cool. So we're gonna make flyers. What else are we gonna do?
Quick question on the flyers. So then we're printing color, is there a good number that we should bring?
Yeah, that's tough. So depending on the area and the day that you're gonna do it, Twilight, I might bring just 5 color flyers, and I might print off another 5 or 10 black. The black and white ones don't cost you anything.
Right.
The color ones after 50 do, right?
Yeah.
So we wanna be smart about that. For a weekend open, I might do 10, 12,
Okay.
and then
So
do
not
some black
big
and
as
whites.
much as that.
And then if you get into your black and whites, you just tell people, look, it has been extremely busy. I am already into my black and white flyers that were
I
like
can
back
get you
up.
one, though.
Yeah.
What's
Right.
your email?
Right, exactly, well, and we'll get there, but yes, exactly, right? So that's what I would do, that's what I suggest. Yeah, you don't wanna print off 25 flyers in color, that's not gonna be cost effective for you. Okay, so you've got your flyer, what are some other things that you can do?
Door knock.
Door knock, yeah, we have a lot of new folks that are coming on that have huge energy for door knocking and have gotten some amazing results going in door knocking, especially before open houses. Because it gives you a reason to be there, right? So,
Would you suggest the day before, like if you're holding it open for Saturday and Sunday, door knocking on Friday?
absolutely, knock on Friday if you're gonna do Saturday or Sunday, sure, or even knock on Wednesday, Thursday, whenever you're available, right? Whenever it fits into your schedule, knock, hey, I just wanna let you know, I'm gonna be holding open the house that's down the street on such and such a day and time. We'd love to have you, I just wanted to let you know it's gonna be available to be seen on that day. Yeah, the amount of neighbors that will come through, the number will go up significantly, no question about it. So definitely you could do that. You put it on Facebook, right? Hey, I'm gonna be holding this house open, check it out, it's amazing. Come see me, come say hi.
I have a question about that.
Yes.
So I've heard that it is becoming a problem where, I guess a privacy problem, that if you're videoing or taking pictures of a house that's not your listing,
Yes.
that the clients of the listing agent have not been approving?
Yes, do not take your own stuff. It's the same idea as with the flyers, use their stuff. So if you're gonna post pictures of the house, post the pictures that the agent has posted on the MLS. Don't take your own. Yes,
Question. So I have a friend and he does a ton with Facebook Live and
Yeah.
Instagram Live or whatever. But
Sure.
So he'll be like, hey, it's Jeff, I'm at this here, come check me out.
Yeah.
Is that, so would it be okay to do that outside of the house?
no.
Okay.
If it's your listing,
Oh,
you
it's
can do
not
that.
listed.
Your friend may do that a lot and may get away with it, but there is some liability in it. There's safety issues,
Yeah.
there's liability issues, there's all kinds of things.
But I think you can get approval from the listing agent or the seller, right?
The
to
the
do-
seller.
The
So
seller.
you can
to
ask the
do
listing
so.
agent, hey, can I do this? Can you please check with your seller? And you can get approval to do it, absolutely, yep, for sure.
Okay. And I have seen a couple listings that have in the agent remarks that says that seller has okayed Facebook videos. I've seen that lately. I
Okay.
don't know if you have.
I have not noticed it, but good, yeah. So anything that you're gonna do outside of what's already printed and published, you need approval for. It's really what it comes down to. Okay. So we're gonna pause talking about open houses for a second. Well, we're still gonna talk about open houses. But this is where I like to stop and say, okay, look, safety is your number one concern when you're in open houses. And the reason I bring up safety now is because we were talking about posting on Facebook, hi, I'm gonna be by myself at this house for these hours, okay? All right, the probability that something happens to you at an open house is extremely low. It's not going to happen. But periodically, you'll see a news story somewhere where somebody is severely hurt, kidnapped, or worse, when they are at an open house by themselves, okay? Even as a full-size guy, I have situations that have made me uncomfortable. And I want you to know that I and Berkshire Hathaway support you 100% in your own safety, okay? So let's talk about safety for a minute, okay? First of all, if you're gonna be doing an open house and you're doing it by yourself, great. You're gonna do hundreds of these by yourself. I mean, you're going to do this. Let somebody know, hey, I'm gonna be at this house from this time to this time. Maybe even set up to say, hey, I will call you within 10 minutes of when I'm supposed to be done. If I don't, call me. If not,
Come find me.
come find, exactly, something, right? Friend, family, loved one, something. Let people know where you're at. Great. When you are in the home, make sure that the doors are locked other than the front door so that people aren't coming in behind you. When you have a lot of people coming in and out through sliding doors and stuff like that, when it's quiet and you have a downtime, go lock the sliding door from the inside or close it or whatever. Again, try to do that. Keep your cell phone with you. A lot of folks, especially with bigger phones that we have today that are really more like tablets, they'll put it on the table over here and then they'll be over here. When you separate yourself from your phone, you separate yourself from a lifeline, right? You can run and with your phone you can call 911. But if you're running and your phone is there, you can't. So keep your phone on you. Keep it with you. Do not follow people upstairs or downstairs. It's not your job when holding an open house to protect the seller's assets. Okay? The listing agent should prepare the seller for understanding the things that are most commonly stolen and things of that nature. Okay? Medication, by the way, is the
It's
top
like
one.
number one.
Yeah. But you're not there to make sure that nobody steals anything. That's not your job. If you go upstairs, you're not safe. If you go downstairs, you're not safe. There's no reason for it. Not only that, but you're opening up the rest of the house for anybody else to come in, right? So, and for you not to know that they're there. Don't leave. Don't leave the main floor. Just stay on the main floor. In the general areas. Don't go in the back bedroom by yourself, right? No reason to. Stay in main areas on the main floor. Keep yourself safe. If you find yourself in a position that you don't feel safe, ask the person to leave. If you don't feel comfortable asking them to leave, or you do and it becomes a bad situation, walk out front. Get out. It's okay. Your number one concern is your own safety. And I will support you 100% with a listing agent or any other situation, seller, if you feel unsafe and you said, I just had to go, or I had to close it up because I didn't feel safe because this guy kept coming in, or whatever it is, right? Call me. Let me know what's going on. Get out first. Be safe. Yeah, make sense? Mm-hmm. All right. So we're talking about different things to do to set up for an open house, right? What are some other things to prepare ahead of time for an open house? We talked about posting it on the MLS. We talked about different things we can let the office know that we're going to be holding it open. That's something that the agent will most likely do. Let's talk about setting up. What are some things that we want to bring to an open house with us? What should be in our car that we're bringing along?
Water, snacks.
Water. Absolutely, water and snacks. Yep. You get thirsty and there's nothing there, good luck. right? Snacks, absolutely, yeah. Lunch, bring lunch, I don't care. I'm not gonna be shoving a sandwich in my face as I see people walking up, right? I'm gonna be discreet about it, but yeah, bring food, absolutely. What else?
Information on the neighborhood.
Information on the neighborhood, sure,
I
yeah.
have like light bulbs.
Light bulbs, get a plastic light bulb or two and put them, you can have a little bag that just has your essentials, right? Toilet paper, not a bad idea. Plastic light bulbs in case there's light bulbs out, that's like the worst, right? And you can take the light bulb with you when you go, and it's plastic, so it's not gonna break or you're not having issues with that. Windex, paper towels, sure, a couple of things, yeah, if you get smudged and it's really bad in just the right spot, or just the wrong spot. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna bring a chair, a folding chair,
Oh, that's a good idea.
and a TV tray, right, that pops up so that if there's no furniture in the house, I have somewhere to sit my rear end. Because I might want to stand for 3 hours, but I might not.
Yeah.
And the TV tray then gives you a place to put your laptop or whatever you want on in front of, right?
I heard like a raincoat or different shoes, things to put in your
Sure.
car.
Sure, raincoat, different shoes, absolutely, depending on the times of year.
I've heard like for safety reasons too, like if you're a woman to bring a pair of men's shoes and put by the front door, so.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Wow.
I've never heard of that, and I think that that is an interesting idea. Put a pair of men's shoes by the front door so that people walking in think that there's somebody else there.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's
I like that.
yeah.
I like that. Never heard it. I love it. Okay, so those are some things. What else?
What are
Things.
those footies?
The what?
Those
The
should be
footies.
by
The
the
footies,
listing
the
agent.
booties. Listing agent will provide those if they want them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In general, too, you want people to come into open houses and leave their shoes on if they want.
Okay.
You want them to be comfortable. I don't want anything to do with you. To I need you needs comfort,
Yeah.
right? And so if they're not comfortable, if the floors aren't clean, right? My socks are cleaner than most people's floors.
Yeah.
Right? They've got white carpet and it's raining outside. Yeah, you're taking your shoes off,
Yeah.
right? But if it's a dry day and clear, they
There's
should.
for-
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
We need to be respectful of the sellers, but we really want the people coming through to be comfortable
Yeah.
in order for us to have the best conversations that we can with them. Okay. What else can you bring? Some people will bring things that will help the smell in the house. So some people will bring Glide plugins, and you won't be one of those people.
Candle? No.
So here's my thing on.
Favorites?
So let's talk about scents and let's talk about food. Okay.
Okay.
All together. Smells. Different people are overly sensitive to different smells. Okay. If you put a smell in that house that's not a normal, natural smell, you're running the risk that it will really offend someone's sense of scent, and they will want out of that house. Again, not helping us. The Glade plugins, the reason that I say you're not going to be one of the people that close, because they smell. I mean, it's a strong, so it's offensive and or it can smell like you're masking something, right? Like you're covering up a smell. Don't do that, okay? Some people say, well, we're going to bake cookies. First of all, do not turn on the oven unless you have permission, period. Okay? Then, let's think about this. Again, different things for different folks. Maybe cookies is what you do and you rock it and it's great. But you know what does not smell good? Burnt cookies. Burnt cookies don't smell good. And you put the cookies in and somebody comes in and you're talking to them and everything's going great and you've got to leave. Next thing you know, the fire alarm's going off, right? The smoke alarm. Think about this for a second, okay? Do you need the smell of fresh cookies? Sure, maybe you do. Maybe you want to do that. Maybe that has high value to you. Great, do it. I'm not telling you you can't do it. You do have to get permission. And it's not something that I personally recommend. If you really want a scent in the house, boil some water, throw a cinnamon stick in it. Okay? It's not going to catch the house on fire. It's not going to burn. It will give a scent of home cooking, right?
Is it okay to just bring like Febreze? What if there is?
Sure. Sure, you could bring a
Do it
Febreze or
ahead.
something.
Like before anybody gets there?
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
But again, if you can't air it out, I don't.
You shouldn't, yeah.
It's up to you. I personally don't. The other thing that a lot of people use that I don't use, and again, you're going to find that. I mean, my open houses are pretty stripped down
Yeah.
because I really want to focus on the things that matter the most. Some people will play music. right? Central music or off their computer or whatever and have ambiance, okay? That's great. But the music that you like might not be the music that somebody else likes.
I've always heard smooth jazz.
Smooth jazz, everybody likes smooth jazz. The only problem is that it's distracting. If you and I are really having a conversation, and we happen to be having that really great conversation right close to the source of the music,
Yeah.
you know, it's distracting. Like, whoa, did it add? Did it help? I don't think so. I just don't think so. I think that you have a better opportunity to have a meaningful conversation without it. So that's my personal take. Again, a million ways to do this, and a million ways to do it right. This is just what I suggest.
One more quick question on the smell.
Sure.
Sorry, I'm stuck there.
No, that's okay.
What if you get there and you did ask ahead of time, the agent for any odd smells, but there is an odd smell that they didn't mention?
Yeah.
Would you not hold it open, or?
No, I would start trying to open things up. I'd
Okay,
start to
yeah.
try to air it out. If it was like a twilight and a vacant house, I might call the agent. If I thought it was overwhelming, I might call the agent. There's a horrible smell here. I don't think this is good to have open right now.
Okay.
Do you mind if I bag it?
Okay.
Right? But if it's owner occupied and you've set a time where the owners are gone, you're gonna hold the house open.
Oh.
You're gonna hold it open.
Out of respect.
Again, out of respect for the seller and the agent. You gotta remember, those agents are the ones that are supplying you the listings, and you'll find that the same ones are having listings over and over and over again that you want. So if you're taking a listing, or you're taking it open and then you don't do it,
They might
it can be
not.
tough. Okay, let's rabbit hole for just a second on that topic. Veteran agents have a lot of houses that are listed. A lot of times their houses don't sell right away, and they need new agents to hold them open. And that's great. These are great opportunities. You should do those. But you also need to be careful because veteran agents need people to hold open houses. And they might have held that house open every weekend for the last 3 months. Is that the best use of your time? Is it better than nothing? Yeah, do it. Is it better than searching and trying to find something a little bit fresher? No, probably not better. So just because somebody's offering you something doesn't mean that you have to take it right then and there. Somebody comes to you and says, hey, would you like to hold my house open? Sure, tell me about it. How long has it been on the market? Does it have any animals? Are there any animals in it? How do you feel about the price? You know, ask some questions that will make them give you a little bit of information. Say, let me check into it a little bit closer and I'll get right back to you. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. All right? You're going to invest your time into their resource. Make sure it's something that you want to do.
Do you have any other suggestions? Like let's say we get to a point where we can be a little bit more particular about the open houses that we're holding.
Sure.
So we have odd smells, pets, days on market, busy street. What else?
Well, busy streets don't bug me.
Okay,
Busy streets are easy because people can pop in really quick and easy.
okay.
So busy streets don't necessarily bug me. Yeah, I mean, general areas and locations, do I feel safe here?
Okay.
You know, sometimes that might influence whether or not I'm gonna do something, overall condition of the property. I'm also gonna try to find a range in price where I feel like I have the best chance possible of capturing somebody, right? So I might not hold open a $2 million house on the water. Because the buyer for that house probably has an agent, right? It's probably not gonna be a high value. Probably also not gonna hold open the very cheapest house that's gross in the neighborhood. But, you know, depending on the area that you're in, you know, you might do a range of, you know, $400,000 to $600,000 or $700,000, right? That might be your sweet spot. Could you do a little bit more, a little less? Yeah, absolutely. Am I gonna do condos? Let's talk about condos. Condos can be very tricky. Sometimes you have to be there to let them in, or there's codes, or there's this, there's
Or they
that.
don't let you put any signs.
Might be limited signage ability. Also, it's limited amount of people that will come and see it, right? A lot of people will pop in and see a house. But the condo, maybe not quite as many. Doesn't mean that you don't hold open condos. Absolutely not. If you have your own listing, should you hold open your condo? Yes. Yes. But am I going to deliberately try to get as many condo open houses as I can? No, probably not. Probably not. Am I gonna hold a condo open for an agent that continues to give me a lot of other listings to hold open? Yeah, sure. Because again, I just wanna continue to work that relationship and continue to receive the ability to do opens from that person. Okay, so let's talk about setting up an open house. how long do we want to, at what, if we're gonna do an open house at noon, what time should we be setting up? 11:30? Yeah, I'd say between 11 and 11:30.
Oh, a whole hour before?
Maybe, it depends. Is it easy to sign or is it not? Are we doing signs all over the place? Are we doing signs just close in? How many signs do we have? Is it wet and nasty? So I'm gonna put out signs and I'm gonna have to like change? Is it really hot outside? So I'm gonna be running around putting signs out and then I'm gonna be sweating like crazy when I'm done, right? Do I wanna go to the house first and get it all open and the lights on first? And everything looking great? Because we know in the open house, we want all the lights on in the house. So do I wanna do that first and then go put signs out? So again, depending on the house, I would give up to an hour
Okay.
to start setting up. Now, you can't get there early if the sellers live in the property and they're gonna be out by noon. Well, you're probably not gonna go early and set up, right? Because you're not gonna be in there while they're trying to get out.
Hopefully you could communicate with the listing agent on how soon you
Yeah.
need to be there.
Exactly. That would be a great idea to let them know, hey, I would like to be there half an hour before, or
Okay.
whatever. Generally, they'll tell people to be out ahead of time, right? But signs. A lot of brokers, a lot of managers will tell you that 6 open house signs is great, it's fine. You're all in my offices, so I will tell you it is not. If you're gonna spend money and get your own A boards, you need 10 of them. Period. You need 10. In fact, I have 18 of them, and when I do an open house, I use them all, or virtually all of them.
Whoa.
If I'm gonna be out, I want to be out. It has my name on it. It's an advertisement for me. They're little billboards for hours, right? If you see a street corner and there is one sign with an arrow, how does that make you feel in relation to if you saw the same corner and there was 4 signs all pointing in the same direction?
Nobody can miss that.
Nobody's gonna miss it, but it also feels like, what's going on?
Yeah, I should go. It's like that talk that we,
Exactly.
like.
Other people, what is happening?
Other people are going.
Other
yeah.
people are probably going, I should go. Also, you are, by doing that, you're also interviewing for listings. People are like, wow, that gal, that guy, he really does know what it takes to get people to my open house. I want to list with him, with her.
How do you feel about balloons on A-boards?
Absolutely. If you've got the time, do it. If you don't have the time, don't do it. Fine. You don't need balloons in order to have a great open house. But if you have balloons off the signs, yeah, there's a party.
Right.
People will come, right? You will get more people to come. There's no question. Maybe not that one open house, but over time, for sure. And yes, maybe that one open house. So we have helium tanks in each of the offices, in the Burien and the West Seattle office.
Oh, wow, cool.
And so and we have balloons, so you can do that free of charge. Yep.
Wow.
So great, yes. When we're putting our signs out, okay, we want to start when we're putting our signs out from the furthest to the house. Okay? We start at the house, then inevitably when we come back and we're hot and sweaty and we haven't unlocked the door yet, and we got all of our chairs and everything else and we're carrying everything in, there's people standing at the door waiting to get in. Okay? So start out and work in. When you close up shop, you start from the house and work out. Makes sense? Okay, so now we got our signs out and we pull up to the house.
Well, really quick, how
Yes.
far approximately do you go out?
It depends. You just have to use your best judgment. If there's a main street, then you want to, you definitely want to get to those, main streets. And a main street isn't going to be what's going to bring in the most of your traffic because Main Street people are going by fast and they got places to go. So you're going to get more of it as you go in. Now, again, usually I would turn around and I would show the other whiteboard on this camera. So if there's a street up here, a main street here, and a main street down here, okay, and there's a street that connects them, and let's say this is like 10 blocks, okay, and you've signed off the big street up here, and your open house is down this street and then over here, okay? Well, there's a John L. Scott listing that is only 2 blocks down and also over here, okay? Well, on this main street, you signed here and down here and at your street saying, come on down this way. But now there's one here, right? So as you're putting them out, you want to look for other signs. When you see a sign here that says, 2 blocks down the way to go right, you want to put a sign next to it that says, oh yeah, but I'm also here. If you wanna come check me out when you're done with this bad house, come see mine, right? So you wanna put another sign, again, another reason why you wanna have a lot of signs. Now, right now, you may not have the money to purchase your own signs with your name on them. Great, our offices provide signs that are company signs, they don't have your name on it, it's not an advertisement, it's not the best, it's not ideal. But after your first sale, put aside the money to do it, it's gonna cost you $500-600 for 10 signs. That's branding. You're gonna be out there and you want to brand yourself. So the sooner you're able to do that, the better off you're gonna be. But we understand that you can't necessarily afford those right off the bat. Some people can, some people can't. So we do provide plenty of signs. Take enough signs. If you have 10 signs of your own and you're like, and you look at it ahead of time on the map and you're like, gosh, I'm gonna need like 14 signs to really do this right. Great, grab 4 of the company signs. Put the company signs on the main streets, right? Where people are going by faster. Sure, more people are seeing it, but they're not really seeing it. Put those on the main streets and then put your named ones as you get closer. Okay, so we get to the house. We put the signs out. We pull up. What do? First thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go over to the flyer box. Most listings on the A-board, on the yard arm, have a flyer box. Mine do not, that's a whole nother story. I don't use flyers in a flyer box. But most people will. You want to pull those flyers out, okay? You are there to market yourself, the house, but also yourself. Most of those flyer boxes have in the front of the flyer box, they have what they call a forever flyer, which is the plastic that's kind of bent over itself, and they shove a flyer up in there so that when it rains and everything else, it keeps it dry. And it's meant to stay there in case the flyers run out, people can still come up and see what they need to see, okay? You're gonna take that, and you're gonna slide it out the top. You're gonna take out all the flyers that are in there. What are you gonna do with those?
Hold on to them until you're in your open house.
You are gonna put them on the driver's side seat of your car. The driver's seat of your car. Why are you gonna do that?
So you remember.
So you're darn sure to put them
Okay,
back,
okay.
right?
I'm like, why did you do that?
Yeah, you wanna put them there once you're parked. You wanna put them there so that you absolutely make sure that you put them back, because you'll really make people upset. When you go and you're done, even if there's no flyers in that box, you do not put your own flyers in the box. Okay, your flyers are only for use in that open house while you are there, period. We had a situation recently where somebody put some of their flyers in the box afterwards because there was no other flyers, and they thought that they were doing something great, and that's not good. So,
Why, just curious, why is it not? Because then they're taking.
because then you're marketing yourself, because it's your information on the flyer, not
So
the.
that
You can
agent
get a
got
fine
it.
for that, right? Can you get a fine?
Yeah, I mean, it's our own office,
Okay.
so you're more gonna make people upset
Okay.
within your own office, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Again, I've only seen it happen once, you're not gonna do it, but just mentioning. Okay, now you're gonna go in,
I would do that. Absolutely,
so
but-
now you're gonna go into the house, you're gonna turn on all the lights. You're also gonna go to the kitchen or dining room area or wherever it is that the other agent has their flyers, right? And you're gonna take those and you're gonna put them in a cabinet somewhere. You're gonna wanna put them back out when you leave, but you're gonna put them away. Another thing you're gonna find in a house when you go to hold it open is sometimes you're gonna find on a table somewhere a stack of or laid out a ton of business cards. Okay? Huge mistake I see people make. They leave them. Take them, stack them up, put them in the drawer with the flyers, okay? Why do you not want 15 or 20 or 50 business cards laying out?
Because it looks like that a lot of people came through and the house isn't selling.
That's a good point. Looks like a lot of people came through, the house might not be selling. Even another idea, I wouldn't say more important, but that's a good one. But also, what if the person comes in and you have good rapport with that person, and then they walk by and they notice, oh, wow, that's Jennifer. I went to high school with Jennifer. Or, man, that's Jeff. It's been a long time. Jeff actually sold me my house. I kind of liked Jeff. Oh my gosh. You just had somebody you had a good rapport with, or that you could have, and now they see somebody that they're going to use. It's not you.
That is a good, I've never
Yeah.
heard that before.
You just market it. You just advertise it for them. Put it away. No, you don't need that. Put it away. Put it back out afterwards. But put it away for you open. Okay. So, let's talk about some controversial things. There are some things that a lot of brokers and managers and trainers and gurus out there in real estate and how to hold open an open house suggest that I do not suggest. So we'll talk about that, and I want to qualify it so that you know that, hey, again, do what you're comfortable with, okay? Let's talk about sign-up sheets. We've all heard about sign-up sheets. They come in, they sign up their name and their number or whatever information you want from them, and you tell them, oh, the seller, ask that everybody signs in. And now you've got a list of names and numbers that you can call back the next day or later that day or whatever and check in, and now you've got leads, right? And that's great. And that works for some people, and it might be the best idea ever. I don't like it at all, for a few reasons. One is, I really want to get their information. I just want to use my skills to get it in a way that at least feels organic to the client, to the person that you're talking with and dealing with, but also in a way where when they give it to you, they want you to have it because they want to hear from you, because you have something of value. They're starting to feel that they need you, right? That is when I want to get and how I want to get their information. We're going to talk about how to do that. If I get their information at the beginning, they don't want to be there to begin with, and they certainly don't want you to be there. They want to be there. They don't want you to be there. So the first thing I'm going to do is ask for personal information. It doesn't help break down the barrier. It really solidifies it with a lot of people. Now, some people won't care and they don't mind, but I would venture to say that the majority of people do not want to sign in, okay? Some people feel that they have to. They feel obligated to. Are they going to want that call from you? Probably not.
Yeah, it's a little actually misleading if you say the seller required it and then
Sure.
you start following up.
Sure, could be. So it depends how you.
I would
depends
pick
how you-
up on that.
It depends how you present it. Maybe you don't present it that way. But any way you do it, in my opinion, is not something that they want to do, and it feels intrusive immediately when they're walking into a situation that they're not comfortable with to begin with. And I want to do something different. I really want to start breaking down the barriers, right? I've watched this happen. What happens when the person comes in and they do sign up, do a sign-in sheet, and then you do your job, and you get them broken down to a point where they feel like they need you, okay? Now they need you and they want you and they think that you're great and they are like, hey, I really want to work with Samantha, okay? You're all ready to go. You already got the contact information. Except when they signed in as Papa Smurf, and the number they gave you doesn't work. You know what they're not going to do? They're not going to correct it. They're gone. They're too embarrassed at this point. They're not going to go back and say, oh, Samantha, I'm so sorry, but I didn't want to give you my information up front. I did Papa Smurf, and it was weird, and I just, I was like, throwing you the bird because I didn't want to do that. And now I feel like I need you, and so I'd really like to give you my real information. They're not going to do it. They're not going to feel comfortable. They're just going to go, well, oh well.
Yeah.
And they're going to move on. So again, I just think that there's better ways to do it, and we'll talk about that. So I don't use them. A lot of people will tell you, hey, handouts, give them handouts. What happens with handouts? Right on the passenger side floor when they get in the car, right? Even flyers.
Yeah.
You're going to give them a flyer. They expect a flyer. We're going to give them flyers.
They always want flyers.
That doesn't mean that there aren't handouts that have value and that you should do. We're not going to get into that too far. There are some things. There's some really cool co-branded stuff that we can do with home services lending that I think has really good value. Okay, but in general, I don't want to give them handouts. A lot of agents will say, "Hey, I want to have a list of all the other opens that day, so that I can tell them, hey, go check out this and this and this." Really? Hey, go check out that agent and that agent and that agent and that agent. Let me know which one of us you like the most. That doesn't make sense, right? I don't want them to go see other places. I've heard of people giving out handouts of other comparable properties in the area. Okay? Again, you're going to send that person away from you to go see another property that has a sign in front of it with a name and a phone number of not you. Is that really what you want to do with your lead? That's not what I want to do with my leads. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to talk to them in generalities or in general ways about, hey, I kind of know about this property and I know about a couple properties. What would be a good time to go see it? When I'm done here at 3 o'clock, I can show you later today, or is tomorrow better? Right? I would much rather do that than the other. which leads us into my term of verbal items of value. We'll talk more about that, but verbal items of value is not, you're not gonna hear it anywhere else. But that's my term. That is what I want us to get to help us get from them not wanting anything to do with us to feeling like they need us. We wanna give them verbal items of value. We wanna break those walls down, and then we wanna hit them with something that makes them go, oh, whoa. That's interesting. That has value. I need that, okay? So I would much rather do that. I would much rather verbally walk through these things with them and get them to go where I'm going. Okay, really quickly, it's a good time to talk about being on video. Surveillance video is cheap, and no one is supposed to video you with audio in the state of Washington without your knowledge. It's against the law, but they do. So assume that you are always on video, even in a vacant house. Just assume you're being watched. Act accordingly. Okay? When people come in, your job is first to present the house that you're in. Okay? Once you've determined how they feel about the house that you're in, if it's not the house for them and they verbalize that, then we can go on to other options. But I strongly recommend that you do not, when they come in, go, hey, the price on this one's a little bit high, but I know of some other great ones, right? Yeah, we are trying to get leads to buy other houses. We do sell the house that we're in. It will happen to you if you do enough open houses. You'll sell it, and then that's great. But the majority of what we're getting out of open houses is clients that we're gonna sell other houses to, right? That's okay, but we first have to represent the house that we're in. Also, remember, you don't know what the seller looks like. You might be talking to the seller, or the seller's neighbor, or best friend, or sister, right? So, again, act accordingly. Be there to represent that house, and then move along with care. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So, we know how to find an open house. We know what to do once we've found the open house to get prepared for it. We know how to set up for an open house, right? For the most part. Let's get into how we behave inside the open house. Where are we gonna sit? What are we gonna do? How does this look? Are you doing okay? You
Yeah.
doing all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm interested to hear this because I've heard so many mixed.
Okay, so I have a specific philosophy, and my way is the right way. Okay, it's a way, but I think that there are some things here that are really, really important and that really do matter. Okay, so let's see. We generally get everybody up and we kind of move around when we do this. We can't do that. Over there is the door, right? That's the front door, and over there is the living room, and then dining room, kitchen. Kitchen is kind of long with an eat-in dining and a rec room over there. Okay, and then let's say there's a den here and stairs that go upstairs and downstairs, okay? Or let's just say upstairs, right, to the bedrooms, and then the bedrooms are upstairs. So that'll give you the layout of the house. Bedrooms, living room, front door, kitchen, okay? Okay, I think it's imperative that we sit ourselves in a position in the house where we can see people coming up. Does that make sense? We really want to see people coming to the house because we want to be prepared when they come to the house. We definitely don't want to be shoving food in our faces. They're walking in the door and you're full of food and you're supposed to say hello, good luck, right? So you want to be able to kind of be prepared and see when people are coming in. You don't want to be snuck up on. You want to see who's coming in. It's something that looks dangerous, right? We want a little bit of a heads up. So we're going to position ourselves as best as we can in the living room or wherever we can see out the front window to see who's approaching. So in this case, that's going to be in the front corner kind of area over there of the living room, okay? That's where we're going to hang out. Okay. There's a sequence of things that I think is very, very important when people come into the house. And so we will talk about those. If I'm sitting there and somebody comes in the front door over here, 95% of all agents will have a flyer in hand already. And they'll go straight up to the door and they'll go right to the people And they'll get right in their bubble, they'll say, hey, here's a flyer, how's it going? My name's Tay, I'd really like to help you, what can I answer? Or, whatever it is, right? Or they'll tell you a little bit about the house. But they will get in your space, maybe not way uncomfortable, but again, this person doesn't want you there, and now you're in their face, and they're only 5 steps in the door. Or you're abrasive from a distance, or whatever that is, okay? You have an opportunity to start breaking down these walls the minute that they walk in the door. And there's some really simple techniques to do that, okay? The first technique, the first thing is, remembering in the video, the idea of the mint, okay? The way that you give the mint is what matters. The mint is inconsequential. The flyer is inconsequential. It doesn't have much value. But the way you give the flyer can have a lot of value. So what I will do is, I will stay in my general space as somebody walks in the front door. I'm not gonna come right up to them, okay? From a distance, but where we can see each other, where it's not awkward. I'm gonna say, hey, come on in, feel free to leave your shoes on, if I can. Feel free to leave your shoes on, come on in, let me get you a flyer, okay? I'm not gonna already have the flyer. I'm gonna get them a flyer. Why? Because they're important. I'm doing a service for them. I just told them I'm gonna go get you something that you want, because they want the flyer. That's their security blanket, okay? They want the flyer, and I'm telling them I'm gonna go get this for you, this amazing thing that you can't live without, okay? And then you're not gonna position the flyers next to you, you're gonna put them in the kitchen or the dining room, somewhere where you still can see them and they can see you. You don't wanna go out of sight to go grab a flyer. You don't wanna go down the hall and to the right, right? You wanna stay within, 15 feet of where you're getting this flyer. But then they're gonna see you do that. While they see you do that, you know what they're gonna be doing? Taking some steps into the house and not feeling like you're on top of them. Feeling like this is okay, this is safe. These aren't really things that they're thinking, but it's happening for them, right? Internally, they are assessing this situation as safe and comfortable, and we're starting to break
They're
them
not
down.
like the pit bull
That's
ready to
right.
attack.
That's right, we are starting to break them down. Now, I'm gonna give them a flyer, but I am not gonna walk right up to them and get right in their way and give them a flyer, okay? I'm not. I'm gonna be very deliberate about how I do it, okay? This seems silly, but if you can get this, it's highly useful. Generally, people don't realize this, but generally, when you give something to somebody or you approach somebody, your last step is on your off foot. So your left foot. If I'm right-handed, I'm gonna hand them the flyer with the right hand, but my step into them is with the left, okay? When I do that, I'm committed with my upper body and my lower body into their space. It's hard to move from here. In fact, my weight is forward into their space, okay? Again, we're trying to break them down. This seems like a small thing, but I will assure you, it is not a small thing. When you give them a flyer, you want to give it to them on your on foot, your dominant foot, your right foot if you're right-handed. If I'm going to give them a flyer, I'm going to step to them with my right foot and the flyer. When I do this, notice that my weight is back. I'm more balancing myself at the front. I'm going to give them this. I'm not in their space. I'm not even out over my body like I am this way, right? I'm
It is
back.
so subtle, but it-
When I hand it to them, they're going to take it, and I'm just going to rock back on my other foot.
Okay.
Boom! I created and kept separation and kept them feeling comfortable. Do it a few times. It feels weird. Do it to a significant other or a friend or with me, okay? But just practice it a couple times. It feels a little weird, but the minute that you get it, you'll get it and it will be comfortable. All these little things is breaking them down, okay? It's helping them feel more comfortable in the space, and that's what we want. I'm gonna hand them a flyer and I'm gonna tell them 3 things. 3 beds, 2 baths. Well, 3 beds, 2 baths is really one thing, really, right? 2,800 square feet, has an amazing water feature in the back. Pick one interesting thing about the property, and then the price. $599, $950. If you have any questions, or have a look around, if you have any questions, let me know. And then I'm gonna go away from them. I'm not gonna be weird about it and try to hide in the back space.
Pop out and scare them.
I wanna stay close, but I don't wanna stay too close. So now I'm in the living room, right? I came from the living room to the entry, and they went back. Now, I'm gonna shadow them in the opposite, right? So where they go, I'm gonna go the opposite. for a minute, okay? Again, giving them space. So if they come in, they get the flyer, and they head back to the kitchen. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stay up front, okay? When they come to the front, they go to the living room. Great, I'm not gonna be in the living room, I'm gonna be to the side of the living room. I might be in the hall or the entry or whatever. I'm gonna try to give them space so they feel that they can go anywhere in that space that they want and experience it without me being on top of them, okay? Once they are done in a space that I know I can hang out and be secure in for a while, I'm gonna go to that space, right? So if they came in and they went to the den first, that's open, or let's just say the living room, they went to the living room first, great. Now they're out to the rest of the house, I'm gonna kind of hang out in the living room. I'm gonna let them explore, okay? Now we have to start building some rapport, okay? We've helped them feel comfortable and not like we're too intrusive, right? We've been friendly, but not creepy, right? Okay, now it's time to start breaking them down further and starting to get to a point where we know what we're dealing with, okay? In every situation, we gotta know what we're dealing with. What is that? So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go, okay, we're gonna start asking questions. Really, there's 3 questions. In my opinion, there's 3 questions that we're gonna ask, okay? We're gonna start to get into some stuff that some gurus disagree with me on, and I'll tell you what it is and why. The first thing that I don't think anybody's gonna disagree with is we want to get them talking, okay? We wanna ask questions and we want them to answer the questions. In order to do that, we need to do things that make them feel comfortable or ask them questions that are not intimidating. First question every time I ask is, hey, quick question, how did you find us today? Did you see it online or did you see the signs? How did you find us? The answer to that question is irrelevant. Maybe you want to conduct your own research. Fine, then you can keep tallies or whatever. But the reality is I don't care how they found me, but they're not going to have a problem telling me that. Why? Because they think that they are doing something for me. I did something for them. I've allowed them then to be comfortable with me, and now I'm asking them to do something for me. Okay?
So this is after, just so I make sure I'm following, this is after they've already kind of looked through the house a little bit, right?
I'll probably do it fairly quick.
Okay.
I'll probably do it fairly quick. So, yeah, as they start to explore, I might just real quick pop that out there. Yep.
Okay.
Now, if they go directly upstairs, am I going to try to have a conversation with them upstairs? No, that's weird. So, how'd you find this? It says this doesn't work, right? It doesn't work. Okay. If they go downstairs, I'm not gonna yell downstairs to them. Same thing. I'm not gonna yell at them in the backyard. Okay. I'm also though gonna be really, really careful because a lot of agents get themselves in this problem or predicament. The people come in, they give them the flyer, they tell them a little bit about it, they walk around the house. Next thing you know, the people are done, and they're heading for the door to put their shoes on, or they're just heading for the door.
Yeah.
And you haven't said anything. Good luck. They're gone. They're already gone. Mentally, emotionally, physically, they're gone.
Or they view the backyard and then they're out.
Or they go to the backyard and they're out. Sure. Now, that happens. That's going to happen. That's
Yeah.
going to happen periodically. But you don't want to wait to the end to start the process, right?
But you also don't want to bombard them
Sure.
right as they're.
But again, I'm not going to ask them when they're in the entry. I'm going to ask them as I know that they have gotten comfortable and they've seen the kitchen
Okay.
and whatever. They've seen a space or two. Okay, they're comfortable and they're away from me. In fact, that's a question I might not have a problem asking into another room. I might be in the living room and ask them when they're in the kitchen where I can maybe see them or just barely see them or whatever, right? Yeah. Now they've answered a question. Cool. Second question that I'm going to ask them. I'm going to ask them, so, and I'm going to follow up the other one pretty quickly, okay? I'm probably going to do this fairly quickly to the other one. So, are you just starting your search, or have you been looking for a while? Have you been looking for a while, or are you just starting your search for a home? Okay? The answer to this question really matters, right? It's going to tell us something. If they say, oh yeah, no, we've been looking for 3 years. Well, what does that tell you? You don't want anything to do with them.
Yeah.
They've been looking for 3 years. These guys are a pain in the rear end.
Yeah.
Okay, no, in all seriousness, everybody's going to buy it sometime, probably, and so maybe you've gotten them at the right time. I'm just joking. So, but it starts to tell you a little bit about them. Conversely,
Or they're very picky.
yeah. Conversely, if they say no, we're just getting started, Well, fantastic, right? Now you know what you're working with, now you know what you're dealing with. This has value to know these things. Okay, great. The third question, and probably controversial. The guru will tell you, not everyone, different gurus have different ideas. Different managing brokers might give you different opinions. Different brokers that do open houses may give you different opinions. The reality is that we are there to get clients. And if they already have another agent that they're working with, that doesn't mean that you can't take them, okay? There's a lot of reason why stealing a client is huge value to the client. A lot of agents out there aren't doing a very good job for their buyers, right? And you can do better. And so it's a value for you to offer your services over another agent, okay? So, but a lot of folks will say, well, you don't want to ask if they're working with another agent because at the end you just want to take them anyway. So you might as well just start talking to them and try to get them, okay? I disagree completely. I think that you do want to ask if they're working with another agent. I think that there's a couple reasons why you want to do that. One of the reasons is that the answer to the question, are you working with another agent, will tell you a lot about this person and where to go with the conversation. Okay. If I say, this is what I say. It's a little bit odd, and I'll explain why I say it. But what I say is hey, do you have somebody that's pushing you around and telling you what houses to go see? Are you working with another agent? Okay. Immediately, I give them a little bit of negativity, right? Because a lot of people have negative feelings about their agent, and they're there and their agent is not. So personally, from a psychology standpoint, I believe that if I give them a little hint of, hey, maybe you shouldn't be happy with your agent. So is somebody pushing you around and telling you what houses to see? Are you working with another agent? It sounds a little odd, but it immediately will put them in a frame of mind, especially if they have a negative relationship with their current broker. Okay?
Do you ever feel that it maybe puts a wall up if they like their agent?
So we'll talk about that.
Okay.
We'll talk about that. If you're not comfortable with that, don't do that. Do what you're comfortable with. This is all about confidence and comfort. Okay? I shouldn't say it's all about comfort, because there's a lot of things that are more comfortable than what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
But really, it's about what you're confident in. Okay? Okay, so the answer to the question of are you working with another agent is going to tell us a whole lot, and it is the most important question that we can ask them, in my opinion. They're going to answer one of three things, generally, 99% of the time. They're going to say one of three things. Thing number one that they're going to say is, no, we're just getting started, we don't have an agent yet. Something along those lines. Well, game on, right? Okay, now we know we got a new home buyer, whether it's first time or not, but they're just starting in the process, okay? And they're free, they're there for the taking, okay? That's music to our ears, that's what we want, okay? That's one response. Another response, the opposite spectrum of that, is going to be somebody that says, yeah, I'm working with Tay Krull, he helped us buy our last house. We went to high school with him, and he is the godparents of my children, okay?
You just leave that person alone.
Kind of.
Great, so
We'll
how's
talk-
he doing?
Yeah.
Always do better.
Exactly. Now that's a little extreme, but if they name their agent
Yeah.
and they talk about their connection with their agent, then they're probably going to stick with that agent. And we'll talk about a Hail Mary in a minute and what you can do with that in a minute. Okay? Well, let's talk about it now. So if somebody does that and you can tell that there's a connection with that agent, the follow-up question is, at an appropriate time, hey, I know you were working with Tay, who's the godfather of your parent, of your kid. Where is Tay today? Okay? Just a little poke. Why is he not with you right now? Why is your agent, why is she not with you right now? Okay? Well, we didn't want to bug him or, whatever. Oh, great. What area? You're trying to find out what area they're out of. So maybe you'll say, hey, I don't recognize the name Tay. Where's he from? What area is he out of? Well, if you're in West Seattle and they say, well, Tay's out in Kirkland, okay? So now you've got somebody that's looking for houses out of the area of the person that they're working with. So on their way out, after I've talked to them and continue to have rapport, I'm not going to ignore them or leave them alone completely. I'm going to be attentive and there for them. On the way out the door, what I will do is I'll hand them my card and I'll say, I know you're working with Tay, and I'm sure he's a great agent. But if in the process you ever feel like you need an expert in the area that you're purchasing, I'm an expert in West Seattle. I'm an expert in Burien. I know this. And so if you ever felt like you needed an expert in the area that you're looking, and you feel like Tay knows Kirkland, and that's great, but that's not helping you achieve getting a house, let me know. I'm happy to help. Right? It's a Hail Mary. It's a why not. Okay? Could have some value. Okay? Can make that person potentially have value in the future. Okay? The answer that you're going to hear a lot more than anything else is some variance of when you ask, so are you working with another agent? Are you working with an agent? Do you have somebody helping you find a house? The answer that you're going to hear more of is yes. And that's really all you're going to hear. Okay? They're not comfortable sharing for a myriad of reasons. Generally, those reasons are red flags and reasons that you can get in there. Okay? Really quickly, another reason that you want to ask what agent they're working with is to find out they're working with a Berkshire Hathaway agent. If they're working with a Berkshire Hathaway agent, we do not need our own.
No.
Right? Oh, that's fantastic. You let me know if you need anything at all. You're working with, Jennifer at Berkshire Hathaway. Fantastic. Let me know if I can help in any way. And we leave them alone. Okay? We do not steal our own. Okay, so I ask, are you working with an agent? And they say yes. Follow up, follow up, follow up. Oh, great. Who are you working with? Once you've asked that, you're going to get all kinds of crazy answers. You'd be amazed. Now, sometimes they will pick it up and they'll go, oh, well, I'm working with Tay Krull and he's great and we've used him before and, whatever. Okay, great. Okay, we're back to that scenario, right? Oh, well, where's Tay from? What office is he out of? Where is he located? But more often you're going to hear answers like, well, this guy my brother referred me to, that he's a buddy of his, and we met him once, I don't remember his name, and significant others look at each other like, do you remember it? I don't know. Or, yeah, well, we got some guy that showed us a couple of houses, we met at an open house last week, and, whatever. You're giving them an opportunity to say all kinds of negative things. Oh, well, it sounds like you're not that connected. What's going on with that? What has he done to help? Has he been, whatever it is? You can start asking some probing questions. You can start getting to the bottom. People will offer up all kinds of crazy stuff. I've had wives say, oh, I hate our agent. He's terrible. Why is that? Tell me more. Tell me more is a great response. Just about anything. Tell me more. Well, we told him our price range was up to 500 and he keeps showing us houses for 600. Or we can never get a hold of him. Or, the house comes on the market and we say, hey, we want to see this, and it's 3 days or 5 days before we get a chance to see it with him. Okay. They're telling you the things they don't like about the agent that they're working with. This is prime opportunity. Oh yeah, that would be really frustrating. I can imagine why you're not feeling like you're represented very well. I pride myself on making sure that my clients are in a house within 24 hours of it coming on the market if it's a good fit for them. So I can see why that would be frustrating for you. Right? You validated their frustration, their anger with their agent. You've told them what you do, again from the video, with other like people. People like you that I work with get this service.
You're not pushing
you're
yourself
getting crap.
onto them.
Yeah, exactly.
And you just mean to show them
I haven't
new
even-
listing that's been on for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Got it.
I can understand that that would be frustrating. I make sure that my clients, I still haven't even told them that they could be my client.
No.
Yeah.
I've just told them what I do for my clients and I validated what's wrong with their situation. Okay? Do you think we've broken down some walls?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have definitely broken down some walls. Now we have a real conversation. Now we have something of value that we can move forward with. Okay? We're trying to get to that point. And if we didn't ask them if they had an agent, we would never have found that out. Now, we may have still gotten them a real roundabout way. But now we know 100% that we will get there if we continue to go through it. It's going to feel awkward when you do it. You're going to fail over and over and over again, and that's good. The more we fail, the better we're going to get at this, right? The more that we do it, whether we win or lose, the better we're going to get at it as we go. Now is time we're gonna strike verbal items of value, okay? Now is when we're gonna get to our verbal items of value. And we are going to present and give them things of value that we can help them with, okay? When I first started, it was a big thing. I would meet somebody in an open house and I'd say, hey, why don't you let me know what you're looking for? And when something comes on the market, I'll call you immediately and let you know about it, okay? If I said that, and people still do this, people still say, well, I can email you listings. Have you heard this? We've heard this, everybody heard this. This is the worst thing you could possibly tell someone. If I told somebody that comes into an open house now and I say, hey, would you like me to email you when the house comes on the market? That's just creepy. No, I don't want you to email me when a house comes. Why?
They already have it on their phone.
They have it on their phone all day long. Refresh, refresh, refresh. They're gonna find the house before you do anyway. Why would I want you to email me new listings minutes or hours after I already found it? They don't want that. That's no value. We gotta find things of value, right? So different people will have different things. You will construct your own things. You will find your own niches and your own verbal items of value. I will share with you some of mine that I think are highly successful, okay? The first one we're not gonna go all the way into, but it is an absolute guaranteed winner, especially with first-time home buyers. And that is to start talking about short sales, okay? Everyone knows the term short sale. Right now in our market, there's not a lot of short sales because the market has rebounded. And so most everyone has equity in their house, and so they don't have to sell it short. Selling short means what? That the house was bought for $100,000, it's now worth $80,000, and they need to sell it for $80,000, and they're hoping that the bank will forgive the $20,000 difference in the debt. Okay? Now, there's a huge long process, and it can take up to 9 months to find out if the bank will approve it. And the seller has to get a signed contract first, a purchase agreement first, to send in with their request or their application to the bank to be able to sell short, okay? So this is a big mess of a process. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But everyone has heard the term short sale. But not everybody really understands it. So again, we have to take them from not wanting anything to do with us to feel like they need us. We need to show them that they need us. First-time home buyers, great. So I'll ask them, hey, question for you. Have you seen any houses that say short sale? Have you seen any out there? Well, there's a few. There are some short sales. Even if they haven't, they might say, well, no, we haven't yet. Do you know what a short sale is? Do you feel comfortable if you see a house come up and it says short sale that you understand what that means? Is my next question. And they'll say, well, I knew somebody that did a short sale. So kind of, but not really. Every time they'll say not really. Now you're gonna need to get educated about short sales. We're not gonna talk about that right now. But I will give them a 2-minute spiel about short sales. Oh, great. Let me just tell you about short sales a little bit so you know if that's a house that could potentially fit for you. Here's how they work. At the end of that conversation, 99% of the time, they want nothing to do with short sales. Okay? But now they need you. You just protected them from the big scary short sale. Okay? That has value. That helps them get from not wanting anything to do with you to needing you. They need to feel that they need you. Okay? We'll talk about more items of value in just a second. Now I've got them. Okay? Now I have something of value. Now let's go into the next ones. Let's go to the next one. You work for one of the largest companies in the area. We have more listings than anybody else, okay, in the general areas that we work, or at least right up there with them, okay? We are not allowed to market properties before they come on the market with the MLS. But the reality is that we work in an environment where we hear and see and experience and find out about properties before they come on the market. We just do, whether we get full information or not. It's all around us, okay? You have a huge advantage in that you can tell somebody quite simply, look, how does this house work for you? This house doesn't work great. If I found a house before it came, if I heard of a house before it came on the market that fit your criteria, your area, your price, your size, would you like me to let you know about it before it comes on the market? Nothing against the MLS rules for saying, hey, I can let you know about something before it comes on the market if I find out about it. It's not your fault that you found out about something. Homes are sold off market all the time.
So we won't get fined.
Right, if you market the property, if you're the one out there marketing it, putting signs and everything else, that's one thing.
Oh, but if we just tell one.
But if you hear about a house before it goes on the market, it's not your fault that you heard it.
And we're just sharing that information with like one or two people.
Yeah, you're not marketing that, you're just
You're
saying,
not
hey.
like posting it online,
Yeah,
like,
you're
hey,
not
look what
posting
I
it online.
heard today.
You're just saying, hey, I found out, I just heard about a house that could be coming on the market, right?
Okay.
I hear about things, but would you like me to let you know before it comes on the market? Do you think that they want to
Yeah.
hear about it? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
The answer is yes, okay? Now, here's what you're gonna do. We're gonna go back to talking about the sign-ins and getting their contact information. You're gonna say, great. You're gonna go to your flyer box. You're gonna pull a black and white flyer out of the back. You're gonna turn it upside down, you're gonna put it on the table. You're gonna hand them a pen. And you're gonna say, write your name, your number, and your email address, and your current residence. What's your current address? Okay? They will give it to you because they need something from you. They want something from you. And now you've gotten their contact information in a context that they actually want to hear from you. Right? Is that better than having them sign in when they first get in?
Yeah.
Heck yeah, it is. Absolutely it is. Okay? Are you going to talk to them about houses that come on the market, on the MLS? Yeah. Are you going to find out about something before it comes on the market? Probably not. If you do, great. Then you're a hero. But you get the opportunity to have a meaningful conversation and show value. They didn't want anything to do with you. Now they need you because you have something that they don't have access to.
Yeah.
You put it on the back piece of a flyer. Why do you do that?
So that you know where you met.
Where you met him from.
Where you met them? Great. That's not why, but it's a great kind of residual. No, because it's unique. No, not unique.
Oh, that you didn't like have a pre-planned.
Yes.
Like
It's organic.
Yeah.
This is just happening. For you nice people, right? Like in the video, for you nice people, I'll give you 2 minutes. I don't do this for everybody. Clearly, I'm not prepared for this. I'm giving you an opportunity that I don't always give everybody else. Okay? Putting it on the back of the flyer, they're going to do it every time. It doesn't feel weird. It doesn't feel like they're signing in a sheet. What if you gave them a sign-in sheet and it had 4 other people just like them? How does that feel?
Right.
Not great.
It's almost like your time is the scarcity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it also portrays, I'm not here to get buyers.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, I can help you. Fine, I'll
I'm
help you.
successful, I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I'll help you out.
yeah.
We get along.
For you nice people.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you one more, and then we'll leave up to other things later. And again, you'll create your own. You'll have conversations, and you'll learn about what works and what doesn't, in different settings and different houses. But one thing that I really like to use, and this works for everyone, is anybody can go online and find all of the houses that are active for sale. It's fine. Anybody can do that. What the buyers can't do very easily is find out all the sold properties, right? So I can look and see that house is $600,000. Well, it got 10 offers and sold in 2 days. But what did it really sell for, right? So what I tell people is, hey, just curious, for my buyers, okay? Again, back to the video. For my buyers, so for people like you that are buyers, I do something that I don't think that many people do. And that is, I like to set them up with a search and send them a bunch of listings in the last few months that have sold in the price range that they're looking for, and the area that they're looking for, and the size that they're looking for. And I do this so that they can kind of get a feel for how scarce the homes are in their price range in their area, right? Are they scarce? Are they not? So for my buyers, again, I haven't offered yet that these people are going to now be my buyers also. I'm just telling them about my buyers, somebody that you would really want to be one of my buyers, okay? For my buyers, so I will send them the sold listings. And what this does is it'll allow you to go through and see, okay, how many houses have there been? In the last 3 months, have there been 2 houses that fit your criteria in your price range, in your area, and your size? Okay, if there's only been 2, we know a couple things. Thing number 1 is that if one hits the market, we better be ready. We better go. Thing number 2 is maybe we want to adjust our criteria. Because maybe there's 20 other people trying to do the same thing you are. Odds aren't that great. And we know house prices are going up and interest rates are going up. So what does that tell you? Maybe we need to broaden our search, okay? Now, a side value of this is you're already setting expectations for this person that is now gonna become your buyer, most likely, okay? We're already setting expectations and we're cutting down the amount of time that we are spending wasted trying to wait for a house to come up that fits their criteria. We already found out that there's not gonna be one, or there's gonna be so seldom, right? Or, hey, there's like 50 of them in the last 3 months that came up. Great, we're gonna have all kinds of options. We can really be picky and selective of what we really want, right? I wanna help you, I wanna help my clients become experts at what's going on in the marketplace so that you're prepared, if you see the right house on day one, that you can buy that great house, right? But I also want you to be prepared that if you see a great house on day one, you know whether or not you can hold off and wait for the next one. So let's get you up to date, let's get the pulse of the market, and let's figure out where you're at and how it fits. I'm gonna send you these listings, I want you to message me back. Or would you like me to send you these listings? The answer is yes, we want you to, of course they do. Great, take a look, let me know how many of those houses would have been ones that you would think might be a good fit for you, something that you might have bought.
Well,
And we'll work from there.
for our current market too, it will give them a good idea, because some people still try to think that they could get a deal.
Yeah, sure.
And you
Yeah.
can show them that, look, this sold for 25,000 above list price, so they're expecting that they may have to go higher than.
Working with buyers and sellers is all about presetting expectations, okay? We'll rabbit hole just a little bit, but this is a good story. I was in the business for about 3 years, and I've been in the business now about 17 years. I had a couple I met in an open house, they came in, they were from San Francisco, okay? They came into the West Seattle area, they came into an open house that I was holding in a Victorian house. You know how many houses are Victorian houses in West Seattle? Like 3, 5, I memean, there's not many of them, right? They came through, they liked the house, they wanted a Victorian house, they're from San Francisco, lots of Victorian houses. They told me, hey, Tay, we really like the house, but we felt like we would get a better deal here. But the prices in Seattle were much lower than San Francisco, and they are, but gosh, this seems more than we were expecting that we would have to pay. And I said, well, no, it's really priced really well, this is a good house at a good price. Yeah, okay, well, we'll think about it. Okay, so I did get them, we showed them some other properties, and a couple days later, they said, okay, we want to make an offer on the Victorian. I said, it's sold. It's gone. Okay? 2 years later, I sold them a Craftsman home in North Admiral. Gorgeous home. Craftsman, beautiful, beautiful home. And when I handed the wife the keys, you know what she said? Pretty much, it's still not the Victorian. It made me feel about that big. And what I didn't realize at the time, but I figured out immediately thereafter, was this. I messed up. It was my fault they didn't get that Victorian. I didn't preset the expectation level. I didn't go back to the office and run a search for Victorian homes in Seattle and show them or email them or tell them. At the time, they didn't even have email. I mean, but we did, but not really. I didn't set that. I could have called them. I could have said, hey, come take a look. There's only been 5 in the whole last year, and this is what they were, and these are the prices. In which case, they might have made an informed decision and bought that Victorian. I cost them that because I wasn't presetting expectations. So not only is this verbal item of value to get clients, it's really a great way to set yourself up and your clients up for success. I sell more houses on the first day of showing houses than anybody else I know. I sell people one house, or I show them one house and I sell them the one. Why? Because we make sure that we set up the expectations and that they know, so that when they see that one house and it pops on the market, they go, yes, we know that this is a good price, we know that we like this, let's do it, let's go, the market's aggressive, let's get after it.
Do you sit down with your buyers previously before going out to get that criteria?
Depends on the buyer.
Okay.
Depends on the buyer.
Okay.
Let's not go there right
Okay,
now.
sorry.
No, that's okay,
Yeah.
that's okay. We can definitely talk about that.
Okay.
Another time or when we're done with this. Okay, good. So there's 3 verbal items of value, things that you can utilize in that situation, okay? Then have them write down. Now, I'm back up just a step and talk about a pitfall that happens in open houses all the time, okay? And that is, you will find that sometimes in an open house, there's one person there, there's nobody there, whatever, it's slow. But then there's other times when there is a sea of people that are gonna flood into this open house, okay? What do you do? What do you do when there's 2, 3, 4, 5 parties of people in this house at the same time? Okay? You discriminate. You figure out what you think is the best asset in that space, okay? A lot of time, you'll already be talking to somebody, and someone else will come in. Your job is not to give everyone the same attention. So, if you and I are having a good conversation in an open house, and I feel like we're getting somewhere, I've given you verbal items of value, and you're like buying it, and you're like, yeah, I got a fish on, right? I'm not gonna, in the middle of that, as I'm reeling you in, I'm not gonna see on the fish finder, oh, there's more fish in the sea over here. I'll stop what I'm doing here and throw another line in and work on this one. That doesn't make any sense. No, you don't have to give everyone the same attention. You just don't. Now, you have an opportunity here as well. The person that you're talking with knows that you have to acknowledge the person coming in. That person walks in the door. I can stop what we're doing briefly and say, hey, come on in. Flyers are in the kitchen. Help yourself. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay? Boom, right back to you. That tells you you're important. Because that's not what I did for you when you came in the door. When you came in the door, I did the whole charade. Right? So, they go about their way. They go around the house. You and I are still talking. They're heading for the door. Thanks for coming. Have a great day. Okay? If they're going to ask a question in the middle, that person's going to respect that. But ultimately, the person that you're talking with is the most important thing. Now, we're having a good conversation, verbal items of value, whatever. I feel like we've got something here. 2, 3 other people are in the house. Great, fine. I'm going to keep my focus mostly on you in an appropriate way. But the minute that you say, oh yeah, by the way, my brother's an agent. Oh, great, fantastic. Well, let your brother know that we're looking at offers on Tuesday. Have a good one. Goodbye. You're dead to me, right? Because you have no more value, right?
Yeah.
Same way, if I cut this off and I get your contact information and everything else, have a great day, fantastic, great to meet you. You're on your way, now what am I doing?
Turn to the
Now I'm
next.
doing, try to find the next person, right? The next person that came in, or the next person that I think has the most amount of value to talk to in one way, shape, or form, right? And of course, when I say discrimination, I'm not talking about age or sex or race. I'm just talking about who came in and gave you the best vibe that they were a serious looker, or a serious client, or somebody that was ready, willing, and able to buy a house. That's what we're looking for, right? It's somebody that can give us the best chance of getting a good lead. Okay. We know we're going to put all this stuff back. We know we're going to lock the doors and the windows. If a door was unlocked, if an exterior door was unlocked when you came to the house, you need to lock it anyway on your way out. You don't want the liability of leaving the house unsecure. Okay? You're going to go back out. You're going to put the flyers back in the box. You're going to drive out. You're going to get your signs from the outside. Okay? Now, the last thing that I will leave you with is this. You, for every lead that you get, and maybe you've done this in the open house itself. Maybe you're going to stand outside of the open house when you're done. Or maybe you're going to do it the next day, but I wouldn't wait. You are going to right away send them a video text. Okay? If you have not already heard about video text from me, I think that you have. You got one from me. You did not. And the reason you didn't is because I didn't have your number over the weekend after we met on Friday. But I video text basically everyone one time. We'll talk just briefly about video text and why it matters in context to an open house. These people are going to other open houses potentially. They're Googling you potentially. They're out of sight, out of mind, right? You need to stay relevant and you need to make that connection. And the one thing that I have found that has more value than anything else that I could possibly tell you is doing a video text. It doesn't have to be professional. They're not expecting it to be perfect. You can say, in it, it's okay. You don't have to have your makeup right. You don't have to have your hair right. Doesn't matter, because they don't know what you look like, because all they're looking at is, oh my gosh, what is this? I don't even know what this is. Oh, this is kind of cool. And then it's done. Okay? But if you make the video text and you send them a little message that says, hey, Samantha, it was really great to meet you today at the open house. I'm really looking forward to helping you find that home that's going to be just perfect for you. gonna send you that email tonight with all the sold properties, and I'm looking forward to looking at houses with you on Monday, whatever it is, right? Helping you find a house is my top priority. We'll see, if you have any questions between now and Monday, reach out, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you on Monday. Boom, done, okay? Don't do it 10 times, okay? Do the first one and then let it go, right, and delete it, right? Do a few takes, take the one you like the most and send it. Don't spend more than 5 or 10 minutes on this. It doesn't matter what you look like. They're not gonna remember. All they're gonna remember is, this is somebody I wanna work with. This is somebody that's doing something different. This is somebody who's reconnecting in a different way. This is interesting to me. And the reason you send it in text and not email is because people don't read their emails. They're not gonna watch the video in the text, or in the email, not as often. You get a video text, I guarantee you, you will watch it.
Yeah.
Because you've never gotten it, or not very often. Now, do not send them another video text.
I was gonna kind of.
That's
joke
creepy.
about that.
That
Like-
becomes really weird, right?
Like every time you're texting,
Every time you
like
text,
a video.
hey, how's it
Well, I
going?
think I might joke in mine, like, don't worry, I don't always text this way, or something, I don't
Sure,
know.
if that makes you
Because
feel,
it is a little uncomfortable. I got the video text too, and my old company was really pushing us to do
Yeah,
it as
yeah.
well. And it's a little uncomfortable. It's like, ooh, is this how this is gonna go? Like, do I respond in a video?
Well, and some of the
Right.
ones that I would get from my old company were just like so fake and
Scripted,
scripted and like,
Oh.
hi, how are you today? And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I don't
Make it
watch
casual.
you're not making a professional video.
Okay.
You want this thing to be natural and weird and everything that it's gonna be. It's okay. It's one time. Sure, if you wanna say at the end and it makes you feel more comfortable, sure, fine.
Or makes them kind of laugh about it.
Sure, of course, absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna video text you every time.
Right.
Have a great one. Whatever, fine, do it. Whatever makes you comfortable and allows you to do it, but do it. I guarantee you.
It's memorable.
It is memorable. It will be the difference between you retaining people and not. I guarantee it 100%. Everything on the web is video right now. There's a reason people are connecting to video. If you're not doing it, you're losing. 100%
And if
of
they
the time.
have a spouse or something, like, you know, they can show it to,
Absolutely, and they do.
right.
And they do, and they show it, absolutely. I mean, I've recruited several agents that have shown the video to their spouse or significant other, and that person's been like, you should go there. That's different, that's
what
interesting.
happened.
That's what happened with you. Yeah, or you were able to show your spouse, because we talked about it, and you said, I gotta go home and show my spouse, or talk to my spouse. I
Yeah.
sent you a message, and you were able to share that, and
And
allows
he
them
was
to
like,
see.
wow, he was like, I don't think anybody's ever done that before.
Of course not,
Yeah, that's
of course not.
Yeah, it is weird.
This is an amazing
Cool.
way to connect with people, and you really should be doing it. Okay, that's it. We're done talking about open houses. Thank you very much. I hope that you have got a lot of good stuff out of this. If you've got any
Yeah.
questions along the way, let me know.
Yeah.
Good. All right.